Hey friends, welcome back to a new episode of The Life of a Makeup Artist. I'm your host, Jaleesa Jaikaran, and today we are getting into another Ask Jaleesa question. So I actually have gotten this question quite a lot over on my TikTok, and the question asks, how do you start getting like invited to PR events? Because I do these kind of recaps day in the life of a makeup artist, kind of recapping my week, me running around the city doing all the things, and I've gotten this question quite a lot. So I wanted to do an episode kind of talking about my three tips on how you can start getting invited to more PR events as a makeup artist and, as a creator, if you're a creator, if you're both. So these are my three tips. The first thing that you want to start looking at is the PR companies. The PR companies are the ones that are representing the company for all their PR things, all events. Now, sometimes it comes direct from the brands, but we'll get into that next. So, if you are like, okay, a PR company is great, how do I, where do I go from there? So, you basically kind of want to like start looking to see which PR companies are representing which brands. Sometimes they have their list public where they would show which brands they are working with, but you might just want to start at the top level, right? So you want to start at like, okay, what is the overarching theme we're going for here? We're going for not just any PR company, we're going for beauty PR companies. So you're going to search up beauty PR companies. You're going to see like, okay, maybe it's I don't know, purple foundation. It's, you make your list, right? And you're like, okay, these are like the pop in, like these are the great PR companies. These are the ones that I want to be connected with. You want to send an email. Sometimes they might not have a direct email on there, but you're going to get a response. Even if you send a DM like, hey, I would love to da da da, I would love to introduce myself. Who is the best person I should reach out to? Most of the times you would get a response, even if you don't try and, obviously follow their account, interact with their posts, and I'm sure there I think that increases the probability of them seeing your message. And of course, I'm a little old school. I like a good email, so you can always email them and follow up that way as well. But definitely the PR companies. Now, I feel like once you start getting to enough, like connected to enough PR companies, they're all one, or people kind of like move around, right? People move around. Sometimes I'll get packages and I'm like, how did they get my address? I mean, it's a PO box, so it's fine, but I'm just like, oh, okay, like cool. Because you just never know who's behind the scenes. So once you start getting connected to the PR companies, the people that work behind there, like you kind of start kind of getting into that, like, into the groove, like, okay, I'm getting invited to events. And you can always express your interest, like let them know, hey, I love X and these brands that you represent. I would love to be considered for whatever events that you have coming up. I'm happy to like share on my socials. Like, you don't have to offer, you're going to do all this content, but it's great to kind of just be like, I'm really interested in the event. I would love to do like, organic coverage while I'm there, because that's what I essentially do as well. You're doing stories, you might do a reel recapping the event, doing all these things. So obviously, you're not just asking for something, you're going to tell them what you have to offer. What do you have to offer as well? Not just like, hey, I want stuff from you. I want you to invite me to your events and I want you to send me PR. Okay, like everybody does wants that. So you want to actually also reach out and be like, I would love to give organic coverage for your events and blah blah blah. Like try the products for my kit, try the products, da da da. Da. Like these are the people that like my clients really like the brand, and I would love to try, X, Y, and Z from the brand, and I had my eye on whatever. So you kind of get the point. The PR companies are where it's at, right? Second one is directly to the brand. Now, this is the thing, like I said, like I mentioned prior, sometimes the brand might not be using a PR company. They might be just doing it direct. And the thing is that really depends on where you live, right? I don't get invited to events in Atlanta. So I barely get invited to events in LA because I don't spend a lot of time in LA yet. That's changing. But I get invited to New York events all the time. So if you are, let's say, for example, right? I was talking to one of my friends about this recently, and she was like, "Well, I live in Philly, blah blah blah, whatever, right?" You can always put two states in your bio. Nobody has to know you just took a bus or took a train or drove drove in 2 hours. Like, let's say you're in Philly and you want to come and do more New York events, or you're in Atlanta, like, put it in your bio. Like, nobody has to know. If you're willing to fly out, then that's totally fine. Like, I don't see any issues with that. So when I say direct to the brand, share your interest with the brand, hey, I love your products, and not just, oh, I'm gonna send a mass like 20 DMs to 20 brands and be like, hi, I would love to be. No, actually DM brands that you like and brands that you genuinely interact with. So brands that are you're following, you interact with their stories, you comment on their posts, you actually use their products, you use it organically, you share it organically. Because sometimes I don't go to every event, but that's fine because I don't use every product. And I don't want to use every product. I don't want to go every event. Like, we all have other things to do, right? So obviously there will be brands where you're like, oh, I would love to do this, and that. Or I see that this brand has like really great events. You're not going to want to go to every single event. But I will say, when you do start to get invites to events, make sure that you go. Make sure that you go. That was one of my biggest things. When I first moved to New York in 2013, there was this company called Beauty Press, and me and my friend used to go to every single thing we could find. Me and Miss Merly, hi girl, me and Miss Millie and Diva, like, we always used to go to every event. We used to post about it. And those people, a lot of those people are still in PR, and people will remember you. And that's how you get to actually meet people face to face. So make sure that you go. And always, always, if you cannot make it to an event, let them know, because if it's a smaller event, remember, they're catering for a certain amount of people. So if you just was like last minute, like, I don't think I want to go anymore, I'm not feeling good, that's fine. You don't have to go. But you remember that this is an opportunity that they're giving to you that they didn't give to somebody else. So just make sure that you're communicating. You have a little bit of manners. I'm from Trinidad. To have a little bit of manners, and you just say, hey, I'm so sorry I won't be able to make it, but I apologize. Like, just, it has happened to me. Trust me, it's happened to me quite a lot. But you just want to make sure that you communicate. Communication is key. Now, the last one is, you want to network with your peers. Yes, your fellow makeup artists, your fellow creators. And I mean, not everybody you're gonna be able to do this, because obviously you're not gonna just be like, hey girl, can you take me to your events? But you're gonna have a few friends in the industry where you're just like, hey, I would love to go to some events. So I have friends that will be like, hey, did you get the invite for this thing? And I'll be like, no. And they'll be like, okay, I got you, I'll put you as my plus one. And then vice versa, I'll hit my friends and be like, yo, do you want to go this, or did you get this? And they'll be like, oh no, I didn't get that. Okay, do you want to come? So you have people that you trust, people that is going to carry you along. You're like, hey, do you want to come to this? I think this is going to be great. Like, I think we could meet, do whatever, meet people, whatever the case is. So, if you have a trusted friend, everybody knows, you have your people, your crew. So make sure that you and your crew know what the vibe is. Listen, we're all going to start sending out or whatever. We're all going to start reaching out. And then if you get this invite, I'll invite you. And that's just how we do it. And it's nice because sometimes it's very intimidating going to some of these events where you're just like, first of all, what am I going to wear? Because I need to look cute. I need to take pictures. And then the next thing is like, I don't know nobody. So it's always nice when plus ones are extended, because not all the time. But it's nice sometimes to go with a friend, like a little safety blanket, because it can be intimidating. And sometimes I feel like I've been in New York for now 10 years. I just be like, listen, I'm going to go, I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to, But I hope that helps. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to drop it in my DMs at The Life of a Makeup Artist here on TikTok or over on YouTube. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.